Welcome back to the program, everybody. Welcome back to another show. Welcome back to another episode. Good morning to all of my viewers, listeners, and Soul Tribe family. The name of this program is called It's a Conspiracy, but It Ain't No Theory. On today's episode, I'm going to be discussing gang stalking plus surviving the New World Disorder per usual. My latest is surviving the New World Personality Disorder. Anyways, surviving manufactured chaos, surviving manufactured karma, surviving white genocide, and surviving the electronic targeting Holocaust. My name is Adrienne Alese. I am the author and creator of a book trilogy called Lucy's Lair, Part 1, 2, and now 3. Lucy's Lair is a book trilogy reflecting my life as a survivor of rape culture, child sex trafficking, and psychological gas chambers. On this program, I advocate for women's rights, basic human rights, and the rights of those disabled. I also advocate on behalf of the foster children in the CPS system, orphans, single mothers, foster mothers, and those less fortunate. Targeted individuals or trafficked victims are predominantly women. 65 to 70% of targeted individuals are white, Caucasian American women, or those who identify as such. This makes gang stalking an illegal operation or hate crime that is sexually and politically motivated towards American women and their children. That would be the white sacrificial lamb. That would be society's true Jesus. This program is a dedication to the targeted individual community. The objective of the opposition or the counterintelligence program COINTELPRO 2.0 is to subvert all of the target's potentiality, to terminate and to punish all supporters and sympathizers, to round down the target's output and audience, to marginalize the target, to eliminate connections and networking ability. Data analysis proves how 80% of these, quote, gunmen in the news that you all see are victims of sexual assault of some sort. And so, because he's using, sex as a weapon to try to deprive me of love, literally, I just told him that when he does fuck me, when we do have sex, he needs to make sure he doesn't come inside of my vagina. He needs to make sure that my pussy is clean for my primary source, whoever that's going to be, and whoever that turns out to be. And so he has to wear protection and make sure that he doesn't leave me dirty for my primary source. And so whoever that ends up becoming. And this is how we equalize and neutralize this hate crime that's occurring. So he can put it in his mind and put it into context and put it into perspective. How I know the truth and how it makes me feel and how he's forcing me to take this type of ritual abuse. And this tactic or this abusive tactic or technique that they use when they prioritize somebody else, it is called triangulation. So every time I'm forced to compete with a honeypot, a porn star, a coworker, a boss, a neighbor, whatever, it's a form of psychological coercion, and it is called triangulation. And so it is actually arranging to have me either fired already, or it's arranging to have me or force me to have to call in to the job that I just got, that I was supposed to start tomorrow, that I'm still supposed to be at tomorrow. And ideally what it would have and what it's anticipating is for me to have to call out to work and tell the boss that I have a flat tire, and then it will, of course, like literally masturbate to that. All of this is being done in a way to where it would seem like if it was just life, like if it's life's normal breaks, exactly how the handbook describes. All right, and so under part 2 of chapter 18, we've got this surveillance part, and it goes on to say how surveillance is the foundation of all operations. Both community-based agent, CBA, visual surveillance, and advanced electronic surveillance are used. So that's also why they hack the devices so they can phish. This chapter will cover only local agent visual surveillance, and they also have the ability to see us and track us from satellite as well. And so anyways, it just basically goes on to describe how this surveillance is being weaponized and why it's necessary. So you can see how it uses this surveillance to obtain information and then run this counter proliferation targeting program. So it's basically CIA blackmail, and it tortures these targets until they become reactive or suicidal. Ideally, it's a suicide mission. But it gets to the point here where it describes something that I want to go over and mention again today. The reason such detail is necessary, it says, is that the punishment phase of active surveillance requires that supervisors customize each punishment action to match the personality of the target and the need to make each punishment action appear to be, quote, life's normal breaks, end quote. And so because this counterculture or this COINTELPRO has murdered Geron's cousin in a mock death ritual in order to stage a psychological collapse and incite domestic violence and proxy wars. Since they've done all of this work to sabotage my relationship in an attempt to mind control misfortunes, it actually refers to me as his ex. So anyways, it does all of this so that it can create heartbreak and insecurity and so that I don't have any support whatsoever, and literally kills people. So the reason why I do this program is to let people know that this counter culture, this COINTELPRO, they're lethal. When they target somebody, they latch onto them. Anybody that helps them, supports them, or provides opportunities for them will more than likely be punished or targeted as well. And so, in my opinion, that's no reason to be scared. If they're going to sit here and target me and try to run this slow kill torture program, what does it matter when I die? It doesn't at all. It doesn't matter when anybody dies. We're all going to die. What does it matter who goes first? It doesn't. So anyways, it is attempting to manufacture insecurities so it can manufacture karma and suffering, prolonged suffering. So the idea with these targets is to exploit them until they, as a form of torture. The sexual exploitation is done as a form of ritual torture. Ritual exploitation is ritual torture, ritual abuse, and to have them suffer slowly and then die of, like, whatever. But it's systemically. And then the idea is also here is to stage a demonic possession, which I believe Geron is full-blown demonically possessed. If he lusts for his cousin's murderers, I think he's full-blown demonically possessed. I don't even know. How else do you describe that? And so I've also asked him too, like, what is the cause or the need for the resentment towards me? And I know that he does harbor feelings of resentment towards me. And so I asked him, what have I ever personally done to you to make you or cause you to hate me so much. And just like everybody else, it's a program. It's being done systemically. And so it's no wonder why they all feel the same way about me. It's a program. It's a counterproliferation targeting program, exactly how the book says. And it's no coincidence that they end up all feeling the same way about me. Because of their support, they're being punished, and then they scapegoat. They blame me for everything, every problem, all the time, every day. But my whole thing is, it's like, how can they sit over here and try to act like, oh my God, they're working, they're so busy. They're not. Or how could they sit over here and act like, oh, you know, they provide and they do so much for us? They don't. At all. I don't even know, like, I can't even name one thing that Jerron has ever bought Ethan other than this computer that he has. He's never bought him anything, ever. Once. He's never taken him out, like, for a family day or for a family date, ever. It's been almost 6 years. So that's a trafficked situation. And then, of course, if you can't leave, if you're like a hostage, again, it's a trafficked situation. If you can't report the crime without being exploited further, it's a trafficked situation. And I know that these videos that I do, I know that the truth really affects them. I know that it impacts them negatively because it bursts their bubble. It shatters their illusion of lies. They need all of these lies so that they feel validated, so their delusions and their fantasies are supported. That's how much they need distractions, porn, drugs, all this other stuff is a distraction. So that's how much they need it. That's how much they need to constantly be busy doing all this other stuff, because they don't like the truth. They can't face reality. They don't want to be confronted with any sort of truth, ever. And so it's sending all of these honeypots out to tempt him, and it's placating to his delusions of grandeur, and it is placating to his low self-esteem. And so it encourages his behavior, his criminal behavior, by mirroring him and performing this NLP in a way that would continue to encourage him to be committing these violent sex crimes against myself. And it uses this trauma bond to keep me anchored, which is trafficking. And it uses trauma bonds in the relationship to make sure I don't leave. And to just basically force me to stay in a abusive relationship. And it's done all of this programming in a way that he himself also believes me to be his ex, which is why I'm so shocked to see him call me his wife. And I know the only reason why he's calling me his wife is because he's been dishonest and disloyal and disrespectful for weeks, months, years. And another one of the things that I wanted to mention is how he was the first person to hit me. And so what happens when a man slaps a woman or just hits a woman is that the respect that was there before the incident is no longer there. And if you hit her once, she's going to hit you all of the time because of that one time. So that's why you shouldn't ideally put your hands on a woman. And another reason why he tries to get me to hit him, like, just hit me already, is so that way he can feel like he is the victim when he's not. He's the perpetuator. He's the predator or whatever. And so also too, you know, if I do hit him or whatever, it's another way of coercing me and setting me up. So even with the verbal consent, you know, it is what it is. I still don't feel the need to be judged, criticized, or harassed or punished about it, or even go to jail about it at all, because of the psychological operation that's taking place behind the scenes, that is mind controlling all of these people and punishing them and torturing them, which is the real reason why they scapegoat me. So I think it's a little crazy to think that the answer to all your life's problems lies or is within having sex with strangers, or, you know, just whatever. Like, I don't see how having an affair is the answer to all your life's problems. I don't see how one person is to blame for all your life's problems. All right, and so Jerron is literally fapping or jacking off at work while I'm being tortured all day. He's allowed every single person in his family and in the community to take their turns abusing me as well. And he's constantly recruiting flying monkeys and showing them the practice of scapegoating so that they will continue to abuse me as well. And then he masturbates to my suffering while he's at work. He masturbates to the fact that I'm starving. He masturbates to the fact that I'm being deprived financially and deprived of any love. He masturbates while I'm being fucking tortured at work. That's the most disgusting and sadistic thing. And then he comes home to torture me some more, to gaslight me some more, to lie to me some more. And he knows that what he is doing is wrong, and he deserves to be shot. He deserves to be punished. He deserves to be something. And so, because he's already verbally consented, just hit me, that's a verbal consent.